these people, and I gotta say it, these people. So you're looking at Kayleigh McEnany, whatever the hell her name is. She's a liar. She's a liar who served as the White House press secretary under former President Donald Trump. She lied about slavery. Now, damn it, we know you had to lie for Trump. We know you got a paycheck to lie for Donald Trump. Okay, we kind of almost get that. You sold your soul, yes. But we understand there was a paycheck behind it. We understand that you were a sellout. But literally, you don't have to lie about slavery. So this individual who was part of an all-white panel on Fox News. And first of all, do we have to say all white when we talk about Fox News? Okay, so this all-white panel on Fox News, they decided to discuss Representative Cori Bush's July 4th tweet. And here's a bit of how she introduced the segment.
The White House briefing set to start any minute now as we await reaction to the verbal fireworks over 4th of July. After some Democrats, left-wing activists, and even the news media smeared the all-American holiday with claims of racism. Squad member Cori Bush blasting Independence Day, tweeting, quote, "When they say that the 4th of July is about American freedom, remember this, the freedom they're referring to is for white people," while NPR took issue with the Declaration of Independence, calling it, quote, "a document with flaws and deeply ingrained hypocrisies." All this bashing leading to the New York Post front cover page, which read "Red, White, and Woke," with its editorial board asking, quote, "Why do liberals in the media take such joy in trashing America?" The haters never take a day off from hating, that is clear. And they never take a day off of getting the facts wrong. We know most of our forefathers, all of our main founding fathers were against slavery, recognized the evils of it. There's a great piece to that end on Heritage called 1776, not 1619. But I'll leave it to you. You know, they're so wrong on so much. Where to begin?
My grandmother would have said, use a damn lie. Now, no, the founding fathers were for slavery. George Washington enslaved hundreds of men, women, and children. Thomas Jefferson enslaved over 600 people, including Sally Hemings. James Madison enslaved over 100 people. James Monroe as many as 250 people. Here's another not so fun or convenient fact for white supremacy ideology. The majority of the signers of the Declaration of Independence owned slaves, 41 out of 56 according to one study. Let me get my red dot graphic here. You see those red dots? Those red dots represent the people who are part of the foundation of this country, who actually owned slaves. They were slave holders, slave owners. There's much history about this. This has been documented, well documented, documented again. But then she says this ridiculous thing on what's considered to be a major news network, and not one person challenges her false narrative because it fits their ideological narrative of white supremacy. We don't need to blame America for racism, that somehow the founding fathers were pure at heart. And Ben, I gotta ask this, brother. Don't you find it quite insane that the same people today who are supportive of the writers of the Constitution, signers of the Declaration, etc., they will say things like America is a Christian nation, but it's not. It is not a Christian nation. As a matter of fact, the people who were the architects of this country literally were fleeing other Christians to create a secular government free from religious oppression.
It's an inconvenient truth. they know this to be historical truths, and so what they have to do is change the historical record, and they cannot do that in the face of what they have labeled to be critical race theory, because we know critical race theory isn't a catch-all phrase to represent everything that America has done wrong, but that's how Republicans use it. That said, well, yeah, America does have a history of racism, white supremacy, Jim Crow, and slavery. And there are vestiges of it still being felt by Black peoples to this day. And there's structural, systemic level issues that need to be addressed. And Republicans know it's simply about power. If we actually concede to the fact that there are systemic issues, then we actually have to give up some of our power. So Kayleigh McEnany, whatever her name is, she's playing that role. She's facilitating that role and getting paid well to do so.
You know, it's quite ironic when you really consider the fact that we actually have more to gain by unifying as common folk in the United States of America, rather than subscribing to these false ideologies that are perpetrated by those who are in power, especially those who are in political power. Because the reality is the Constitution was not written for regular people. In order to participate in democracy, not only did you have to be white, you had to be wealthy. You had to be white and own land. If you were not white and a nobleman, or white and landowner, you could not participate in the democracy that they designed. So while we can debate on what's happening today because of the expression of racism and bigotry and systemic oppression, there is no debate as to who you were considered to be when this country was founded. And if it is in the document of the creation of this country, that means that the systemic oppression has permeated beyond the founders of the Constitution, and we have to remedy that. And that's part of what critical race theory teaches, is that the issue of bias is also codified in our systems, our laws, and our institutions. Yeah. So we'll see what happens if they will issue some kind of, hey, you know, she got it wrong, we apologize. Or perhaps she makes a statement on Twitter, hey guys, I was wrong about this. Yes, they did actually have slave owners. We'll see if something like that happens. But I would not hold my breath, because nobody cares on her side if she's telling the truth or not. Nobody.
That's the thing. I wanted to leave it where you left it, because that was that period. What you said closed it out, but they don't care how much they lie, Doc. They relish, they revel, they dwell in their half-truths and their propaganda and their lies. They need it as much as the rest of us need water. They need their lies.
But see, it's going now from half-truth and half-lie to whole lie and no truth. That's where it's going. There was a time, Ben, when the conspiracy theorists represented the very far right. And they existed on the fringes of the political movement inside of the conservative party. Now they coexist as a mainstream and mainstay political movement. And what's happening now is that they are controlling the complete narrative with their complete dishonesty. Rather than mixing the truth and lies, they are now mixing lies and getting away with it.
Absolutely. And I'm fascinated though, Dr. Richey, how many lies are they gonna have to tell to maintain their power? Because that's the game that we're playing right now. I mean, everything from the filibuster down to qualified immunity, all of these are different layers of lies that have to be told to maintain the system of white supremacy in this country.
Well, it's endless as long as it continues to be a means of power.